Last week, a young woman walked into my office, tears streaming down her face. She'd just been promoted to senior management at her company, a position she'd dreamed of for years. But instead of feeling accomplished, she felt utterly alone. Everyone keeps telling me to build a support system, to find mentors, to network. But what if I'm meant to walk this path by myself? What if being alone isn't a weakness, but my greatest strength? Her words stopped me in my tracks. How many of us have felt that deep, gnawing fear of going it alone? That voice inside telling us we need others to succeed, to be happy, to be whole. We've created a world where independence is often viewed as isolation, where self-reliance is mistaken for loneliness. Today I want to challenge everything you believe about doing it alone. Think back to your childhood. Remember that moment when you first learned to ride a bicycle? Yes, someone might have held the back of your seat, running alongside you, but that magical moment, that split second when you realized you were actually riding, that was all you. Nobody else was pedaling, nobody else was keeping your balance. In that precious moment, you were gloriously, magnificently alone. The truth about doing it alone isn't what you think. It's not about isolation. It's not about pushing people away. It's about discovering the immense power that resides within you, power that's always been there waiting to be acknowledged. You see, we've been conditioned to believe that needing help is the only path to success. We're told that lone wolves don't survive, that we need to be part of a pack. But what if that's just another limiting belief that's keeping you from your greatest potential? I've spent decades studying human potential, and I've discovered something remarkable. The most transformative moments in our lives often come when we're alone. Think about it. When was the last time you had a profound revelation while sitting in a crowded meeting room? When did you last experience that deep sense of peace and clarity while networking at a busy event? Those moments of true insight, of genuine transformation, they come in the quiet spaces between the noise, in those precious moments when we're truly alone with our thoughts. But here's what fascinates me most: being alone doesn't mean being lonely. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you learn to embrace solitude, to find strength in your own company, something extraordinary happens. You begin to attract people who recognize and respect your independence. You create deeper, more meaningful connections because you're no longer coming from a place of need, but from a place of wholeness. Let me share something with you that might seem counterintuitive at first. The greatest gift you can give to others is your own self-sufficiency. When you learn to stand firmly in your own power, you free those around you from the burden of your expectations. You release them from the responsibility of completing you, fixing you, or saving you, and in doing so, you create space for authentic relationships built on mutual respect rather than mutual dependency. I remember working with a successful entrepreneur who built his empire from scratch. He told me about the countless nights he spent alone in his garage working on his prototype while others slept. People called him crazy. They told him he needed a business partner, a team, a support network. But he knew something they didn't. He knew that this initial journey was his alone to make. He understood that some paths must be walked in solitude, not because others can't help, but because the strength we find in solitude becomes the foundation for everything that follows. This isn't about rejecting help when it's offered or needed. It's about understanding that your primary source of strength comes from within. It's about recognizing that while others can support your journey, they can't walk it for you. No one else can do your push-ups for you. No one else can meditate for you. No one else can face your fears for you. You might be sitting there thinking, but what about all the successful people who had mentors, who had support systems, who had help along the way? And you're right to ask that question. But here's what most people miss: those successful individuals didn't succeed because of their support systems. They succeeded because they first developed the internal strength to make use of that support effectively. They learned to stand alone before they learned to stand together. Consider this: every morning when you wake up, you're alone with your thoughts. Every decision you make, every choice that shapes your path, ultimately, you make these alone. Even in a room full of advisors, the final decision is yours alone to make. This isn't a burden, it's a gift. It's the gift of absolute responsibility for your own life, your own choices, your own path. And here's something powerful to consider: when you truly embrace doing it alone, you develop a kind of inner compass that no external validation can provide. You begin to trust yourself in a way that's impossible when you're constantly seeking approval or guidance from others. This self-trust becomes your superpower, your secret weapon in a world that's constantly trying to tell you who to be and how to live. The most profound truth about doing it alone isn't found in books or seminars. It's written in the very fabric of nature itself. Look at a seed breaking through the soil. No one helps it split its shell. No one pulls it toward the sunlight. That incredible journey from seed to sapling happens in perfect solitude. Yet that solitude contains all the wisdom of countless generations, all the strength needed for growth. You're a lot like that seed. Within you lies everything you need for your own growth, your own transformation. But somewhere along the way we forgot this truth. We started believing that we needed constant guidance, constant validation, constant support. We became spiritual consumers instead of spiritual creators. Let me tell you about a conversation I had with a young artist. She'd spent years trying to find her style by studying other artists, attending workshops, seeking feedback from peers. One day, frustrated and exhausted, she locked herself in her studio and made a decision. For 1 month, she would create only for herself, showing her work to no one. No social media posts, no feedback sessions, no outside opinions. Just her canvas, and her truth. What happened next astonished her. Without the noise of external opinions, without the pressure to please others, she found her voice. The art that emerged wasn't just different, it was alive with an authenticity she'd never achieved before. By doing it alone, she didn't just find her style, she found herself. This story illustrates something crucial about the power of doing it alone. It's not about achieving perfection in isolation. It's about creating space for your authentic self to emerge. When we constantly seek external validation, we're like radio receivers picking up everyone else's frequencies. To hear our own signal, we sometimes need to turn off all that outside noise. But here's where many people misunderstand the concept of doing it alone. They think it means rejecting all help, all connection, all community. That's not it at all. Doing it alone means developing such a strong internal foundation that you can engage with others from a place of choice rather than necessity. It's the difference between needing someone to validate your path and choosing to share your journey with them. Think about the times in your life when you felt most proud of yourself. I bet those moments weren't when someone else solved your problems. They were the moments when you faced a challenge and found the strength within yourself to overcome it. Those moments when you surprised yourself with your own capability, those are the moments that define us. The world we live in often tries to convince us that we're incomplete on our own. The self-help industry, social media, even well-meaning friends and family, they can inadvertently reinforce the message that we need fixing, that we need completing, that we need constant guidance. But what if the opposite is true? What if the greatest gift we can give ourselves is the permission to trust our own inner wisdom? I've seen this transformation countless times. People who step away from the constant noise of advice, opinions, and expectations often discover something remarkable. They already know what to do. The answers they've been seeking outside themselves were within all along, just waiting for the silence needed to be heard. This doesn't mean the path will be easy. Doing it alone requires courage. It requires faith in yourself. Most importantly, it requires a willingness to be misunderstood. When you choose to walk your own path, not everyone will understand. Some might even try to pull you back into dependency, not out of malice, but out of their own fear of solitude. Remember this: every great breakthrough in human history started with someone willing to stand alone in their truth. Every revolutionary idea, every paradigm shift, every leap forward began with an individual willing to step away from the crowd and trust their own inner guidance. The most beautiful part about learning to do it alone is what it does to your relationships with others. When you no longer need people to complete you, you can love them more purely. When you no longer need them to validate your choices, you can appreciate them more deeply. When you no longer need them to guide your path, you can walk beside them as equals. Consider how this applies to your own life. Think about the decisions you've been postponing, waiting for the right advice or the perfect moment. Think about the dreams you've put on hold, waiting for someone to validate them. Think about the strength you've denied yourself by believing you needed permission from others to begin. The path of doing it alone isn't about reaching a destination. It's about discovering that you are the destination. Every step you take in solitude builds a stronger foundation for who you're becoming. Every challenge you face alone becomes a testament to your innate capability. Every moment of doubt you push through becomes proof of your resilience. And here's something fascinating about embracing the path of doing it alone: it often leads to the most meaningful connections with others. When you're no longer reaching out from a place of need, but rather extending yourself from a place of fullness, you create relationships that are based on sharing rather than taking, on growing together rather than completing each other. There's something extraordinary that happens when you first taste the power of true self-reliance. It's like discovering a new dimension of yourself, one that's always been there but remained hidden beneath layers of social conditioning. The first taste of this power often comes in unexpected moments in situations that seem to break us but end up revealing our true strength. I once worked with a woman who lost everything: her job, her marriage, her home, all within the span of 3 months. Society told her she needed a support system, a shoulder to cry on, someone to help her rebuild. And while those things have their place, she made a different choice. She chose to face the void alone, not because she had to, but because something deep inside her knew this was her journey to make. For 6 months, she lived in a tiny studio apartment with just a mattress on the floor and a laptop, no TV, no distractions, no running to others for comfort. Each night, she sat with her pain, her fears, her doubts. She learned to be her own comfort, her own counsel, her own strength. When she emerged from this period of voluntary solitude, she wasn't just surviving, she was transformed. This woman discovered what many of us never learn, that our deepest wounds can only be healed by ourselves. Others can offer bandages, but true healing, the kind that transforms wounds into wisdom, that's an inside job. It has to be done alone. But here's what's fascinating about doing it alone: it doesn't just change you, it changes how the entire world responds to you. When you develop this unshakable core of self-reliance, people can sense it. They're drawn to it. Not because they want something from you, but because authentic strength recognizes authentic strength. Think about the ocean for a moment. On the surface, waves crash and storms rage. But deep beneath, in the depths of the ocean, there's a stillness that remains untouched by the chaos above. That's what doing it alone creates within you, a core of stillness that no external storm can disturb. This isn't about becoming hard or cold. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you truly learn to stand alone, you develop a softness, a compassion that comes from knowing your own strength. You no longer need to defend, to prove, to justify. You can simply be. Consider how often we use others as shields against our own growth. We say we need motivation from others, but isn't that sometimes just an excuse to avoid motivating ourselves? We say we need guidance, but isn't that sometimes just fear of trusting our own wisdom? We say we need support, but isn't that sometimes just reluctance to support ourselves? The truth is, every significant transformation in your life will ultimately be a solo journey. Even in a room full of people, the moment of change happens in the privacy of your own consciousness. No one else can make that shift for you. No one else can do that inner work for you. No one else can cross that threshold for you. This is where many personal development approaches miss the mark. They focus on external strategies, on systems and structures, on what others have done. But your path is uniquely yours. Your challenges are uniquely yours. Your solutions must be uniquely yours. I remember working with a CEO who had all the external trappings of success: the corner office, the executive team, the army of consultants. But he felt empty inside. His decisions weren't really his own. They were a composite of other people's advice. His strategies weren't born from his vision. They were cobbled together from best practices and industry standards. One day he did something radical. He cleared his calendar for a week, turned off his phone, and went to his vacation home alone. No books, no podcasts, no advisors, just him and his thoughts. For the first time in decades, he allowed himself to think his own thoughts, feel his own feelings, and hear his own wisdom. The insights that came from that week of solitude transformed his company, not because they were revolutionary business strategies, but because they were authentically his. They came from a place of deep knowing that can only be accessed in solitude. This is the paradox of doing it alone. It makes you better at being with others. When you're no longer depending on others to fill your empty spaces, you can truly see them, hear them, appreciate them for who they are rather than what they can do for you. Think about the most confident, centered people you know. Their confidence doesn't come from external validation. It comes from having walked through their darkest valleys alone and discovering they had the strength to make it through. It comes from having faced their deepest fears in solitude and found peace on the other side. But let's be clear about something. Doing it alone doesn't mean you never ask for help. It means you ask from a place of strength rather than weakness, from a place of choice rather than necessity. It's the difference between drowning and choosing to learn from a swimming instructor. One comes from fear, the other comes from wisdom. The most powerful moment in doing it alone comes when you realize that you're not just capable of handling life's challenges, you're actually stronger because of them. Each time you face a difficulty alone, you're not just solving a problem, you're building spiritual muscle. You're not just surviving, you're expanding your capacity for life. In the quiet moments of our lives, when the world seems to fade away, we often find ourselves standing at a crossroads. It's a place where the noise of expectations, the clamor of opinions, and the weight of our own fears collide. Have you ever felt that? That moment when you realize that the path you're on isn't truly yours? It's a moment that can be both terrifying and liberating. It's the moment when you understand that sometimes, to truly find yourself, you have to do it alone. Imagine for a moment a young child standing at the edge of a playground watching other kids swing, slide, and laugh. There's a longing in their eyes, a desire to join in, but something holds them back. Perhaps it's fear of rejection, or maybe it's the uncertainty of not knowing how to play. But in that moment, if they take a deep breath and step forward, they discover something profound: the joy of connection, the thrill of play, and the beauty of being part of something bigger. Yet there's also a lesson in solitude. Sometimes that child needs to learn how to play alone, to find joy in their own company, to create their own games, and to understand that their worth isn't defined by the laughter of others. Life is a series of these moments, isn't it? We often find ourselves caught in the web of societal expectations, feeling the pressure to conform, to fit in, to seek validation from others. But what if I told you that the most transformative experiences often come when we dare to step away from the crowd? When we embrace solitude not as a punishment, but as a gift? Think about it. When was the last time you truly spent time with yourself? Not just scrolling through your phone or zoning out in front of the television, but really being present with your thoughts, your feelings, your dreams. It's in those moments of solitude that we can hear the whispers of our soul, guiding us toward our true purpose. Let's take a journey together. Picture a vast forest filled with towering trees, their leaves rustling gently in the breeze. In the heart of that forest, there's a clearing, a sacred space, where the sun breaks through the canopy, illuminating the ground below. This clearing represents the essence of who you are, untouched by the noise of the outside world. It's a place where you can connect with your true self, where you can shed the layers of expectation and fear that have been placed upon you. In this clearing, you can ask yourself the tough questions. What do I truly want? What makes my heart sing? What fears have been holding me back? It's in this space of reflection that you can begin to understand the power of doing it alone. You see, when you strip away the distractions and the noise, you create room for clarity. You allow yourself to dream without limits, to explore the depths of your desires, and to confront the shadows that may have been lurking in the corners of your mind. But let's be honest, the idea of doing it alone can be daunting. It can feel like standing on the edge of a cliff, looking down into the unknown. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? These questions can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in a cycle of inaction. But what if we reframe those questions? What if we asked ourselves, what if I succeed? What if I discover strengths I never knew I had? What if I find a sense of peace and fulfillment that I've been searching for all along? The truth is, every great achievement in history has been born from moments of solitude and introspection. Think of the artists, the writers, the inventors who dared to step away from the crowd and follow their own path. They faced their fears, embraced their uniqueness, and created something beautiful. They understood that doing it alone doesn't mean being lonely, it means finding strength in your individuality. Let's take a moment to reflect on the stories of those who have walked this path before us. Consider the story of Vincent van Gogh, a man who struggled with mental illness, who felt isolated and misunderstood. Yet in his solitude, he created masterpieces that continue to touch our hearts today. His paintings are a testament to the beauty that can emerge from the depths of loneliness. He found solace in his art, a way to express his innermost thoughts and feelings. Or think of J.K. Rowling, who faced countless rejections before her words found a home in the hearts of millions. She wrote in cafes, often alone, pouring her soul into the pages of a story that would change the literary world. Her journey reminds us that the path to success is often paved with solitude, perseverance, and a belief in oneself. These stories are not just tales of triumph, they are reminders that the journey of self-discovery often requires us to step away from the noise and embrace the quiet. It's in that quiet that we can hear the call of our true selves, urging us to take the leap, to trust in our abilities, and to forge our own paths. Now, let's bring this closer to home. Think about your own life. When was the last time you took a moment to truly reflect on your dreams? When did you last sit in silence, free from distractions, and ask yourself what you really want? It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life, to let the demands of work, family, and social obligations drown out the voice within. But I urge you to carve out that time for yourself. Make it a priority. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of purpose, knowing that you are living authentically aligned with your true self. It's a powerful feeling, isn't it? But to get there, you must be willing to embrace the discomfort of solitude. You must be willing to face the fears that arise when you step away from the familiar and venture into the unknown. Let's explore this idea further. Think of a time when you faced a significant challenge. Perhaps it was a difficult decision, a career change, or a personal loss. In those moments, did you seek the opinions of others, or did you turn inward, trusting your instincts? Often, the most profound insights come when we allow ourselves the space to think, to feel, and to process our experiences without the influence of external voices. Consider the power of journaling. It's a simple yet transformative practice that allows you to pour your thoughts onto the page, to explore your feelings, and to gain clarity on your desires. When you write, you create a dialogue with yourself, a conversation that can lead to profound revelations. You might discover patterns in your thinking, uncover hidden fears, or even find solutions to problems that have been weighing on your mind. But journaling is just one tool. There are countless ways to engage in self-reflection. Meditation, long walks in nature, or simply sitting in silence can all provide the space you need to connect with your inner self. The key is to find what resonates with you and to make it a regular practice. As you embark on this journey of self-discovery, remember that it's okay to feel vulnerable. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a strength. It takes courage to confront your fears, to acknowledge your insecurities, and to embrace the unknown. But in that vulnerability lies the potential for growth, for transformation, and for a deeper understanding of who you are. Let's take a moment to reflect on the importance of setting boundaries. In a world that often demands our time and energy, it's crucial to protect your space for solitude. This might mean saying no to social invitations, turning off your phone, or creating a designated time for self-reflection. By prioritizing your own needs, you send a powerful message to yourself that your well-being matters, that your journey is important, and that you deserve the time to explore your own thoughts and feelings. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, looking into your own eyes. What do you see? Do you see someone who is worthy of love and respect? Or do you see a list of flaws and failures? I encourage you to shift that perspective. Look deeper. Acknowledge your strengths, your resilience, and the unique qualities that make you who you are. Embrace the idea that you are enough just as you are. This is a crucial step in the journey of doing it alone, recognizing your inherent worth and allowing that understanding to guide your actions. As you cultivate self-compassion, you may find that it becomes easier to face the challenges that arise when you choose to walk your own path. You'll develop a sense of inner strength that empowers you to take risks, to pursue your passions, and to embrace the unknown with open arms. Remember, every step you take in this journey is a testament to your courage and determination. Now let's delve into the idea of resilience. Life is full of ups and downs, and the ability to bounce back from adversity is a vital skill. When you choose to do it alone, you may encounter obstacles that test your resolve. But it's in those moments of struggle that you can discover your true strength. Resilience is not about avoiding challenges, it's about facing them head-on, learning from them, and emerging stronger on the other side. Think of a time when you faced a setback. Perhaps it was a failed project, a lost opportunity, or a personal disappointment. How did you respond? Did you allow that experience to define you, or did you use it as a stepping stone for growth? Each setback is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to refine your approach. Embrace the lessons that come from adversity, and let them guide you as you continue on your journey. As you navigate the path of self-discovery, it's essential to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Acknowledge the steps you've taken, the insights you've gained, and the courage you've shown. Each moment of reflection, each act of self-compassion, and each challenge you face contributes to your growth. Celebrate those victories, for they are the building blocks of your journey. Let's take a moment to explore the concept of authenticity. In a world that often encourages conformity, it can be challenging to embrace your true self. But authenticity is a powerful force that can transform your life. When you choose to be true to yourself, you attract opportunities and relationships that align with your values and desires. You create a life that feels genuine and fulfilling. Ask yourself, what does authenticity mean to me? How can I express my true self in my daily life? It might mean pursuing a passion that others don't understand, speaking your truth even when it's uncomfortable, or simply allowing yourself to be vulnerable with those you trust. Embrace the beauty of being yourself and watch as the world responds in kind. As you continue to explore the theme of doing it alone, Remember that solitude is not a destination, it's a journey. It's a continuous process of self-discovery, growth, and transformation. Embrace the ebb and flow of this journey, knowing that each experience contributes to your understanding of yourself and your place in the world. Now let's reflect on the importance of gratitude. In the midst of our busy lives, it's easy to overlook the blessings that surround us, but cultivating a practice of gratitude can shift your perspective and enhance your journey of self-discovery. Take a moment each day to reflect on what you are grateful for. It could be the warmth of the sun on your skin, the laughter of a friend, or the simple joy of a quiet moment alone. Gratitude opens your heart and allows you to appreciate the beauty of life, even in its challenges.
As you embrace solitude and embark on this journey of self-discovery, remember that you are not alone. There are countless others who are walking a similar path, seeking connection, understanding, and growth. Reach out to those who resonate with your journey, share your experiences, and learn from one another. Community can provide support, encouragement, and inspiration as you navigate the complexities of life. Let's take a moment to consider the role of creativity in this journey. Creativity is a powerful expression of our inner selves, a way to communicate our thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Whether it's through art, writing, music, or any other form of expression, creativity allows us to tap into our authentic selves and share our unique perspectives with the world. Embracing your creativity can be a transformative experience, one that invites you to explore the depths of your imagination and express your true essence. When you engage in creative pursuits, you create a space for self-exploration and discovery. It's a way to connect with your inner voice, to articulate your feelings, and to share your story with others. Think about the last time you created something, whether it was a piece of art, a poem, or even a meal. How did it feel? There's a certain magic that happens when we allow ourselves to create without judgment or expectation. It's a reminder that we are capable of bringing beauty into the world, even in our moments of solitude. Creativity can also serve as a powerful tool for healing. When we express ourselves through creative outlets, we often find clarity and understanding in our experiences. It allows us to process our emotions, confront our fears, and celebrate our victories. So, I encourage you to explore your creative side, whether it's picking up a paintbrush, writing in a journal, or playing an instrument. Find a way to express yourself that feels authentic to you. As you continue on this journey of self-discovery, remember that it's okay to seek help when needed. While doing it alone is a powerful concept, it doesn't mean you have to navigate every challenge by yourself. There's strength in vulnerability, and reaching out for support can be a sign of courage. Whether it's a trusted friend, a mentor, or a professional, don't hesitate to lean on others when you need guidance or encouragement. Let's take a moment to reflect on the importance of self-care. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to neglect our own needs in favor of meeting the demands of others. But self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's about prioritizing your well-being and nurturing your mind, body, and spirit. When you take the time to care for yourself, you create a solid foundation for your journey of self-discovery. Self-care can take many forms. It might mean setting aside time for relaxation, engaging in physical activity, or indulging in a hobby that brings you joy. It's about finding what replenishes your energy and allows you to feel grounded. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. By taking care of yourself, you equip yourself with the strength and resilience needed to face life's challenges. As you embrace the concept of doing it alone, consider the role of mindfulness in your journey. Mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment, fully engaged with your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. It allows you to cultivate awareness and appreciation for the here and now. When you practice mindfulness, you create space for self-reflection and connection with your inner self. Incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths, savoring a meal, or going for a walk in nature. It's about being intentional with your time and allowing yourself to experience life fully. Mindfulness can help you navigate the ups and downs of your journey with grace and clarity. Now, let's explore the idea of letting go. As you embark on this journey of self-discovery, you may find that there are things you need to release: old beliefs, toxic relationships, or habits that no longer serve you. Letting go can be a challenging process, but it's essential for growth. It creates space for new opportunities, experiences, and connections to enter your life. Reflect on what you might need to let go of in order to move forward. It could be a fear that's been holding you back, a negative self-image, or a relationship that drains your energy. Acknowledge those feelings and take steps to release them. This might involve having difficult conversations, setting boundaries, or simply making a conscious decision to move on. As you let go, remember to practice self-compassion. It's okay to feel sadness or grief over what you're releasing. Allow yourself to process those emotions without judgment. Embrace the idea that letting go is not about forgetting, it's about making room for new beginnings. Now, let's talk about the power of intention setting. As you navigate your journey of self discovery, setting intentions can provide you with direction and purpose. Intentions are not just goals, they are guiding principles that align with your values and desires. When you set an intention, you create a roadmap for your journey, helping you stay focused on what truly matters to you. Take a moment to reflect on what you want to manifest in your life. What are your deepest desires? What do you hope to achieve during your time of solitude? Write down your intentions and revisit them regularly. Allow them to serve as a reminder of your commitment to yourself and your journey.